Sergeant Dragon rushes to work. He is part of the Hong Kong Marine Coast Guards who patrol the waters and deal with pirates and smugglers. He requests the police Captain Chi for more arms and ammunition to fight the pirates, but Captain Chi insults him first before agreeing to it. He mischievously walks off the office. Whilst drinking and celebrating at the local tavern, the Hong Kong police team starts insulting them. Tempers flare and Dragon tries his best to calm things down, saying they are sailing the following day and should not get in trouble. But he is tripped by one of the policemen. Dragon refuses to engage in a fight, but Inspector Hong confronts him and tells him he spilled some beer on him. Dragon apologizes, but Hong humiliates him by pouring a full glass of beer over his head. Dragon demands an apology, but Hong refuses, and a fight breaks out between them and their colleagues. The fight is eventually broken up when the police arrive. Later that night, Dragon and his squad are briefed by their captain. They are set for a huge offensive against the pirates, but just as they are marching toward their ship, two of their ships are blown up. Corrupt business owner Chow is with a gangster, Chong, at his upper-class club. Chong is on the run for murder and smuggling, and Chow tells him to keep his head down until they can get him away to Vietnam. After Chong leaves Chow's office, Chow meets the pirates who sabotaged the Marine Police's ships. He thanks Chow for the information he provided to his leader, Master Sen Pao, and tells him that his boss wants another favor: 100 police rifles. Chow promises to get the rifles for San Pao. Since he can't use Chong for the job as he is a wanted person, he tells his man to contact Fei and finish him off after the job is done. Meanwhile, disgraced because of their brawling and losing 2 ships, Dragon and his men are forced to become regular police officers. Their admiral comes and encourages them to wear the new uniform, though he is quite unhappy about the turn of events. Dragon reports to Captain Chi's office, where he is asked to maintain strict discipline and posture.
Head up, chest out, bottoms up.
Captain Chi also introduces Dragon to Inspector Hong, who is in charge of their training. Dragon and his men undergo tough and petty training under Hong. After a back-and-forth series of cruel training exercises and pranks, the police are given a tip-off about Chang's whereabouts. They go inside the club, and after some resistance from Chow's men, they skin the area. Dragon finds Chong hiding in a back room, but before he can catch him, a fight ensues.
You're under arrest, Chan Ho. It's under arrest.
A bunch of Chow's men attack and keep them from going upstairs. After a prolonged fight, Chow comes with Captain Chi and insults them for the destruction of his business and falsely accusing him. Captain Chi asks Dragon to apologize to Chow, but he refuses. When pressured to apologize or face the consequences, Dragon declares he's quitting the force before swinging on the chandelier and reaching upstairs. He is attacked by Chong in a room and a fierce fight ensues. Dragon defeats Chong and hands him over to the police and walks off without taking his police badge. Outside the club, Dragon bumps into Fei, who tells him that someone within the police force is working with the bad guys and is trying to sell rifles as well to the pirates. Fei suggests they work together. Dragon catches the traitor whilst Fei makes his money by selling the rifles. During the night, they disguise themselves with masks and tail Captain Chi and some of his men buying rifles from foreigners. Dragon and Fei intercept the deal by dumping everyone in the water. They take off with the guns and hide them in a log yard, marking the log they're concealed in with a red flag. Later, Dragon sees Fei closing the deal to sell the weapons to Chow's men and the pirates. He takes the guys to the location, but discovers that Dragon has put other red flags on all the other logs as well. While Fei gets into a fight with the gangsters, the Admiral comes looking for the guns after a tip-off by Dragon. Having thwarted Fei's plan, Dragon is at his home with the Admiral's daughter, Winnie, who tells him that there's no corruption going on. The police were just buying rifles from the army to use against the pirates. Fei sneaks in and the thugs follow him. They get into a fight with the bad guys, with Winnie joining in to lend a hand. They are forced to flee while protecting Winnie, resulting in a chaotic chase. Though the 3 of them manage to evade the gangsters for some time, they are again surrounded by them. Seeing Captain Chi approaching with his men, to evade the thugs, Dragon goes to them and tells him to arrest him as he did some serious damage to public property while fighting. Captain Chi sends away Winnie and chases after Fei after realizing he is a thief. Dragon, handcuffed to a pole, is being assaulted by the thugs. To save himself, he climbs up the pole and jumps into the clock tower. But before he can uncuff himself, the pirate comes and they have a showdown. One guy comes up and shoots at Dragon, making him escape through the window. But as the guy opens the clock window, he is on the verge of falling off. The thug aims his gun at him, but is immediately shot by Hung. Out in the sea, the pirate ships, pretending to be harmless, attack a passenger ship. The head pirate Sammo and his men take the people hostage. The police big shots are cooking up plans on how to deal with the situation. But sneaky as always, Dragon sneaks inside and eavesdrops their conversation. During this time, Chow comes in for a talk with the colonel. He is hired by the colonel to be the middleman during their talks with Sammo. Chow says he will talk to Sammo, but he wants to gift 100 rifles to the pirate to please him and get the hostages released. The colonel agrees. As Dragon tries to flee the place, he is caught by the colonel. Dragon introduces himself as a Coast Guard sergeant and gives a piece of his mind to the colonel for making a deal with Chow and willing to give arms and money to the pirate. Coming back to his senses, the colonel puts Dragon in charge for the mission to save the hostages. Chow is brought in by the police and beaten until he tells Dragon and Hong how to get to Sammo. Posing as Chow, Dragon answers all the correct passwords and gets on board a boat that takes him to Sammo's hideout. Inside the boat, Faye comes out from one of the barrels, startling Dragon, who is busy drawing the direction down. Faye says his only intention is to make a fortune out of the situation and promises not to get in Dragon's way. Just before arrival, he takes a messenger pigeon out of his hat and sends it away to his team with the direction. Dragon arrives at Sammo's secret lair and meets him. He presents Sammo with wine barrels and rifles, but Sammo turns down his negotiation to free the hostages. Dragon is asked to stay for the night to celebrate his birthday. Later, Hong and his men arrive, while Dragon sneaks out of his room. He and Hong take out some of the pirates and eventually meet up. Using some tricks, they knock out the pirates guarding the hostages. Hong and Big Mouth free the hostages while Dragon goes to Sammo's birthday party. He keeps Sammo and his men distracted and busy with an arm wrestling contest. Faye is all set to escape the island, but he sees the pirate who fought with Dragon before. Knowing that Dragon's plan will fail, he returns to help Dragon. He meets up with Hong and the others. They hatch a plan to make some of them move ahead with the hostages and blow up the pirate ships, while 3 of them go inside to save Dragon. Meanwhile, Dragon sees the wounded pirate come inside, so he tries to flee, but is summoned by Sammo. Dragon is trying hard to make them believe that he is Chow by making up stories and not allowing the pirate to speak. Faye, disguised as a pirate, comes in and informs Sammo that the police have surrounded the island. Hong and Big Mouth come inside with their guns, aiming at them. The pirate ships blow up, and they engage in a fierce battle. After a prolonged fight with Sammo, they eventually manage to kill their tough opponent by blowing him up with a grenade. After the battle, they sail a raft to take the arrested pirates back to Hong Kong.